Yo, what is up guys? It is esports content entertainment coming at you guys with another video here today, and in today's video we are going to be talking about Cloud9. So Cloud9 won the LCS 2022 summer split and went on to be the first seed for the LCS at the 2022 League of Legends World Championship, where they completely failed. They finished bottom in their group, finishing 1-5. They only won one game against Fnatic actually, and against EDG and T1, they got completely destroyed. And it wasn't just because of their draft. They were playing completely dog shit. I mean, Fudge was playing extremely bad. Blabber was playing extremely bad. Jensen definitely played really bad. The only good player from Cloud9 performing on the roster was just Berserker. Sven played really bad, but that was to be expected because he's not a support actually. So it's one of these things with Cloud9. As you guys know, I'm a huge Cloud9 fan. They're the first ever, like, League of Legends org that I wanted to officially support, be like, that's my team. And later on I became a fan of G2 and RNG and Gen G and things like that, but Cloud9 were my first. So I thought I'm always harsh on them. Don't take this as I'm like flaming them. I want them to be really good. Now, generally when Cloud9 has gotten out of past group stages at past League of Legends World Championships, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I don't expect other teams to get out. Usually the reason why they've always gotten out was not even just over performance. You have to factor in they've adapted very well. They also have the players to adapt very well in key games and key situations to also get out. This year, it just wasn't going to be like that. So the problem with Cloud9, just from this year, if you just isolate the LCS 2022 summer split, Cloud9 were worse than CLG and Team Liquid during the regular season. Then people expected them to actually win best of one games against T1 and EDG, despite barely winning enough BO1s in the LCS, and the LCS was actually really fucking bad. Yes, I did have them getting out of the group because I genuinely thought, seeing their playoff run, I was like, maybe they might actually be able to tackle some of T1's weaknesses and some of EDG's weaknesses. Well, come to find out, I was wrong because it turns out the LCS is just dog shit. Factor this in, guys. Sven, a guy who's not a support, role swapped to support and won the LCS in his first split doing it. That's fucking horrible. That just goes to show you how bad these other teams really are. Sven, who's not a support, not even a good support to be honest with you, role swapped and won the LCS. I'm glad that Jensen finally won his first title. That's awesome to finally have. He finally won with this org, but they gotta make some changes. Now, I wouldn't say make a whole bunch of changes though, because the roster did work and it did win a championship. They're gonna most likely keep Blabber and Fudge together. They've been like the core C9 duo for a while at this point, ever since, 2021 spring, actually, when they brought over, Perks, and they had Vulcan, and they had that lineup at that current moment in time. It seems like ever since the LCS 2021, spring split, Fudge and Blabber have been that direct core. But at the end of the day, it's one of these things where I don't know why they settle on Blabber so much, though. It just seems like at the World Championship, he just always collapses. And he never really gets exposed in the LCS enough to make him want to change up his playstyle. Fudge has definitely not been, like, the best top laner, but he's been the best top laner in the LCS at various points, not always consistently. I thought he played very well in the playoffs, actually. He's probably their most valuable player in the playoffs, actually. But at Worlds, he just got completely destroyed, even with counter matchups. And I think LS was like, don't be mean to Fudge. He's playing like shit. I'm sorry, he's playing like complete shit. The bot lane of Cloud9 was just a disaster. We knew that was going to happen because, well, Sven is not a support, and he's not a good support either. So this was a crazy thing I was reading, because I was at work just chilling on my phone, just scrolling through Twitter, and I was like, what the hell? So Alejandro Gomez tweeted, sources, Diplex and Emenes reach verbal agreement with Cloud9. The two mid laners will compete for the North American team next year, 2023. Diplex, main team, Emenes, academy team. Main team or academy could change during the offseason. It's one of these things where, is throwing away Jensen something you really want to do? I mean, I don't know. Because, he didn't really play that well in the regular season, though. He had a lot of, really very bad games, actually. But he also had some pretty decent games. But he had more bad games than decent games. And I love Jensen, guys. I love that guy. He's fucking amazing, but I don't think it's gonna be that reunion special that a lot of people really wanted. I mean, the World Championship definitely showed that, you know? So let me go over to his article right here. It says right here, according to sources close to Blix.gg, Diplex and Emenes have reached a verbal agreement with Cloud9 to compete with them in 2023. All indications are that Diplex will be the main team mid laner and Emenes will be the academy mid laner, but it could be changed in the future. Diplex is one of the most promising players of the last years. The 19-year-old German has been competing since 2021 in Vitality. The French club always had him in the academy, but there were many times when they thought about promoting him to the main team. He would eventually end up in one of the flagship teams in North America. Emenes is a Korean player who was competing in the Excel Academy. The Excel Academy disappeared, so it seems that the North American organization will be his new team. The player was valued very well by almost all coaches in Europe. They finished second in the NLC summer split. Okay, so this is some I don't know what Cloud9's going to be doing with their roster. I mean, Jack always seems to come through with building a roster, at least for the LCS, actually. I know they failed really hard with the LS, like, Korea experiment that they had going on for the LCS 2022 spring split. Like, obviously, Fudge mid wasn't going to work out. It's not a mid laner. Definitely not a good one either. And then you also had, what was it, Isles, he was, like, not very good. Like, they had the LS experiment, that failed, then they went back to Jensen, they're like, okay, that worked, then at Worlds, that didn't work, you know, so I think, you know, trying some stuff out, trying anything new out wouldn't be the worst idea, though I wouldn't change up so much of the core, though, you know, I would only probably potentially get an upgraded mid, if you think it's a true upgrade, because if it's not an upgrade and it's just a side grade, what are you really getting there? Then, factor this in as well. I would change out Zen. Like, if they can get Core JJ, it's not a bad player to get. But it all depends. I think Core JJ is going to be one of the biggest valuable prospects of the LCS this offseason. So, yeah, that is it. But what do you guys think about Cloud9 potentially not having two really promising mid laners? So, I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, and subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I am MSK, and this is Esports Content Entertainment, your one place for esports content. Alright, guys. Deuces.